Welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars, your trusted corner for the most captivating behind-the-scenes moments in Turkish cinema and television. If you love discovering the hidden truths and tender fractures that shape your favorite performances, make sure you subscribe, tap the join button to support our channel, and give this video a like. Today, we're stepping into a day that began like any other and ended in a silence so heavy it felt like thunder. A quiet storm unfolded in full view of the crew, a startling emotional clash between two of Turkey's brightest talents, Barış and Yağmur Yüksel. What should have been a routine day turned into a moment of tightening air, hushed breath, and hearts held in suspense. Morning rolled in as usual. Lights warmed the set. Scripts were marked with careful notes. The crew took their places, bracing for a demanding scene that had to feel both raw and precise. The director, chasing authenticity, suggested a touch of improvisation to elevate the moment. Nothing grand, just a small deviation, a heartbeat off the script, meant to spark something lifelike between the leads. That was the instant the ground shifted. Yağmur, known for pouring every drop of feeling into her roles, needed absolute concentration. She had been preparing for a take that required subtlety, restraint, and focus. When Barış, following the director's suggestion, added an unscripted line and a brief, unexpected gesture, it set off a reaction nobody foresaw. People on set say the camera had barely cut when the atmosphere changed. Yağmur's composure wavered in front of everyone. Her hands trembled as if a chill ran through her. Her expression faltered, eyes caught in a sudden shine. She whispered something too faint to catch, then turned and left the stage, slipping behind the door of her dressing room and locking it. The entire studio froze. No one moved. The silence felt dense, almost suffocating. Even the director, usually ready with solutions, seemed uncertain. Within minutes, the rest of the day's shoot was called off. It later became clear this wasn't a moment born solely in an instant. Insiders had felt the distance building for months. Quiet separations during breaks, rehearsals that felt more formal than collaborative, creative disagreements shelved instead of explored, and emotional tension gathering in the background, waiting for a spark. The production company issued a brief statement, calling it an internal matter. No further comment. That single line poured fuel on a growing fire. Social media ignited overnight. Hashtags with both of their names began to climb the trends. Fans sifted through old interviews for clues, replayed behind-the-scenes footage, and analyzed offhand glances as if they were clues to a mystery. Some defended Yağmur passionately, pointing out how often the pressure on female actors is dismissed or misunderstood. Others stood up for Barış, insisting he had simply followed a director's instruction and never intended to cross a line. What about you? Do you see Yağmur's emotional response as understandable, a human reaction in a high-pressure moment? Or does it look like a split-second, exhaustion-fueled lapse that could have happened to anyone? Tell us what you think in the comments, we read every word. Behind closed doors, everything escalated. The director convened an emergency meeting to seek a way forward. Options were laid out like puzzle pieces. Pause production temporarily, rework the script to limit their shared scenes, and in the most extreme conversations, consider replacing one of the leads. Even speaking those words sent a tremor through the team. Both stars are indispensable to the project's heartbeat, losing either would rewrite the entire vision. Meanwhile, crew members braced for schedule changes, budget concerns, and a fog of uncertainty. What looked to outsiders like a dramatic moment between two actors had quickly evolved into an industry-level crisis for everyone involved. The incident sparked a bigger conversation than anyone anticipated. Should producers be providing consistent mental health support to actors who are expected to deliver high-stakes emotion on demand? How much should a production protect its artists from the cost of creative perfection? Is the emotional well-being of performers something that needs to be specified in every contract, not just implied? We want your perspectives. Where should the line be drawn between art that moves us and the people who must break themselves open to make it? In the days that followed, both stars kept their distance from the public eye. Yağmur's social feeds fell quiet, a still surface interrupted only by waves of supportive messages from fans urging her to take care and stay strong. Barış refrained from statements that could inflame the discourse. According to people close to the set, he came back to work steady but noticeably reserved, making space, choosing silence, doing his job with professional care but with an invisible wall between him and the chaos. To prevent further flare-ups, the production arranged private meetings between the two, supported by mediators and mental health professionals. Their priority became clear: protect the project, safeguard the crew, and restore equilibrium on set. And yet, some believe full healing will take time. Trust, once rattled, doesn't reset overnight. People who witnessed the moment say the peace that followed feels fragile, like a surface newly settled after a storm. It looks less like a final resolution and more like a calm pause as everyone tries to rediscover their footing. Meanwhile, the debate among fans kept growing. Online communities combed through microgestures and old clips, speculated about earlier disagreements, and fought to assign fault in a situation that refuses to be simple. Within a few minutes of reality, a national dialogue sprang to life about boundaries, respect, consent in creative environments, and how far improvisation should go when emotions run hot. When you pull back and look at the whole picture, one truth stands out. Behind every flawless scene audiences applaud lies a human heart that can bruise. What happened between Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel wasn't just a production hiccup. It was a reminder that creativity and emotion are intertwined and that the pursuit of something real can blur into something raw. Whether this clash leads to a careful reconciliation or a long, quiet distance, viewers will keep watching, hoping for resolution. And we will be here to share every update, with care and clarity. If this deep dive moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and tap the join button to support Whispers of Turkish Stars. Until next time, keep your heart open and your curiosity alive. Of course, there is more context that can't be captured in viral clips or neatly packaged statements. People who know both actors describe years of dedication, the kind that comes with early call times, late rehearsals, and the unglamorous discipline that the public rarely sees. They talk about how often both of them stay after wrap to ask for one more take, one more angle, one more chance to catch a feeling between the lines. That shared standard for excellence is part of what made the improvisation suggestion feel promising at first: two performers who can listen for the beat and meet each other in motion. But even between partners, even between collaborators who trust, the smallest change can land like a stone in water, sending ripples in directions no one intended. Some on set insist that Barış's added line was gentle, even protective, a soft shift born from instinct. Others say it strayed over a boundary that had been carefully set for the scene, pulling Yağmur into a place she had not prepared for. The truth may be neither and both. What is certain is how immediate the effect was. The quiet on set, the sense of something fragile being touched. In that moment, time slowed. People held their breath. And when the door closed behind Yağmur, the sound echoed. The production company's minimalist statement did little to quiet speculation. A few seasoned crew members suggested a broader industry pattern: improvisation is often encouraged to achieve lifelike sparks, but the cost of those sparks lands on actors who must travel to emotional edges repeatedly. Should there be clearer boundaries, even in the most collaborative environments? Should improvised choices be rehearsed or previewed before a take, especially when a scene requires vulnerability? The conversation has expanded well beyond one set and two stars. In private sessions, we hear that mediators set ground rules designed to rebuild safety. Speak without interruption. Name the boundary before you cross it. Agree on a plan when a scene asks for improvisation, and name a word that freezes action without blame. If true, those measures could soothe the nerves of an entire crew, not just the leads. People who make art together must also learn how to step back together when the line blurs. Fans remain divided but deeply empathetic. Many who champion Yağmur emphasize how she has navigated intense roles with grace, often while shouldering expectations that double as the spotlight brightens. Those who stand beside Barış point to his reputation for precision and respect on set, and the reality that following a director's cue is part of the job. It's possible both of these things are true at once, and that contradiction is where this story lives. For now, the project moves forward cautiously. Some scenes have been reshuffled. Quiet corners have appeared on the schedule for rest. New guidelines have been whispered across departments, and there is a feeling that everyone is listening more closely to words, to pauses, to the weight of silence. The cameras will roll again, as they always do. But if you look closely, you can see a new humility in the space between action and cut, a recognition that perfection is a story told about human beings who are still learning how to be human with each other. So we ask again, what would you want if you were in their place? Would you push for the perfect take if it meant crossing an emotional boundary? Or would you accept a slightly less electric scene in exchange for a safer space? Tell us where you stand. We want this community to be part of a healthier conversation about how the performances we adore are made. Your voice matters here. Whether this moment becomes a bridge or a border for Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel is still unwritten. But the fact that so many are invested in their well-being means something. Perhaps that care will be the current that carries this production toward a gentler shore. Either way, we'll keep watching with attention and respect. And when there's more to share, you'll hear it here first, on Whispers of Turkish Stars.